Hey guys, welcome back to another AQ3D video. We are going to be going over the OG classes of AQ3D. If you guys enjoy this video, do me a favor and let's try to get this one to 100 likes. If you enjoy my content, tap that subscribe button and hit the notification so you don't miss any of my uploads. A lot of my viewers are not subs, so I would really appreciate if you guys could tap that sub. That did not sound appropriate. On to the video. The first class is Warrior. Now this Warrior is completely different than the current Warrior we have now in the game. This Warrior had debuffs and buffs. The first ability was Vorpal Strike, and this was the most powerful attack for the OG Warrior. This also dazed the opponent for 3 seconds. The next ability was Rending Cut. Now this didn't hit very hard, but this did weaken the opponent's attack power, which was a nice little debuff to have. The third ability is Whirlwind, aka the spinning attack, and this would actually, it's kind of similar to what the Berserker is now. Your damage would increase when your health would reduce. The ultimate was called Warcry, and this was actually not an attack at all. This was a buff, which would increase your attack power by 10%. This would also increase anybody who is around you. It would increase any friendlies. It would increase their attack power by 10% as well for 20 seconds. All in all, this class was pretty good. It did have an AoE attack. It did give some really good numbers with the Vorpal Strike. It had good buffs and debuffs, and was definitely my most used class out of the 4 classes we had back then. The next class is Mage, and this is also a different class than what we currently have in the game, and I liked this Mage. This was one that I liked, probably not compared to the new one, which I've gotten used to, because there's much more you can do with a new one compared to this one. But anyways, the first ability was Fireball, and this would burn your opponents when you would use it, and the burn would last for 9 seconds. The second ability was Lightning Strike, and this would hit the opponents nice and hard, and it would also daze them for 6 seconds. Now, this is a word that's come back twice now. Warrior dazed an opponent, as well as the Lightning Strike was dazed. I think that was what they referred to as stun back then, was daze. The third ability was Magic Shockwave, and this would send out a shockwave of magic energy that would damage all the opponents nearby. This was an AoE attack, and this was actually pretty cool. The final ability was Mana Shield. Now you could cast this on yourself or on a friendly around you, one of your friends or something, and what this would do was it would increase their armor by 50% for 10 seconds. For an ultimate, it was kind of unfortunate to have a buff like that rather than an actual attack, but that seemed to be kind of the way it was for classes back then. The next class is Rogue, and this was one of my favorite OG classes, and to this day we do not have a class like this. Samurai is the closest to what the capability of this Rogue was. The first ability was Poison Strike. Now this would poison your opponent for 6 seconds. Now you could stack those poisons up to 4 times. The next ability was Spin Kick, and this would lower your opponent's defenses. This ability would couple very nicely with the next ability. The third ability is the Scorpion Tail Strike, and this would use all of your poison strikes against the opponent in one big devastating blow. If you used the ultimate before you used this attack, you would do double the damage. The ultimate was Stealth, and this was a buff that would increase your dodge and your critical chance for a limited time. A way to cause massive damage to your opponent was by stacking up the 4 poison strikes, using Spin Kick, using Stealth, and then using the Scorpion Tail Strike, which would cause this devastating blast. It was amazing. The final class is Guardian, and this is actually similar to the Guardian we currently have in the game. So you have the Guardian Strike, which is the first ability, and every time you used it, it would give you a Guardian mark. Then your next ability is Dragon's Breath. Now the more Guardian marks you had, the more damage that this Dragon's Breath ability would do. It would also daze the opponent for 3 seconds, but it wasn't a 100% chance. It was just a limited chance that it would daze your opponents for 3 seconds. The third ability was Healing Strike. As long as the attack wasn't dodged, it would heal your wounds. The more Guardian marks you had, the more healing you would get. The ultimate ability was Guardian's Oath, and this is a taunt that would focus the enemy's attack on you, and it would weaken and stagger the opponents for 10 seconds. And those were the 4 classes that we had 6 years ago. For the set of the day, I'm going with this one right here. It's a great set and made it into the set of the day. That is it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and keep those swords swinging.